This is One-on-One. Allison Inserro is with the Allergy and Asthma Support Group of Central New Jersey and also involved in something called the Food Allergy Initiative. 20 million people have asthma, 9 million of them are children. Also, we're talking about food allergies as well. Your son, Colin, has...
He has asthma, he has food allergies, and he has environmental allergies.
Okay, just so we can, if we're looking at pictures of him as well. Help us on this, Allison. What the heck is the difference?
Between food allergies and asthma?
Yeah.
Well, they're both immune disorders. Food allergies is a body's abnormal response to a food, where basically instead of attacking a disease or a parasite, it attacks an abnormal, it attacks a food protein instead of a disease like a parasite.
How do you even know?
How do you even know?
How does a parent know? Like, a lot of the parents are watching right now and they're wondering, but how would they know?
Usually what happens, something happens when the child is a baby. And
for example?
For example, wheezing as a child, reactions to food, problems with solid food, problems with nursing.
Is it hives?
It could be hives.
It could be.
It could be. It could be wheezing, it could be coughing. Usually for a lot of people, it winds up as a trip to the emergency room, either with breathing problems or with...
what was it with Colin?
With Colin, it was a trip to the emergency room. Every 3 minutes, a family winds up in the emergency room with food allergies.
How old was he?
He was 10 months when that happened.
He's 8 turning 9, as we said right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's so interesting to me? Right now, our producers, you told our producers that, Colin, you put together an asthma action plan.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
It shows a school nurse.
Because you brought some stuff. Lay that out
Right.
for us a little bit.
So this is a spacer that delivers the medication more effectively to the back of the throat so that it gets into the lungs more easily. And this would be the medication chamber that presses down.
Got it.
And basically, whether it's an asthma action plan or a food allergy action plan, it describes to the caregiver the symptoms that you have to watch for about when you have to give medication. So for asthma, it's a numerical value that shows your peak flow meter readings when you're in the red zone, the yellow zone, or the green zone.
Hold on, but does your son have this with him?
Yes. Right now he's at a friend's house and he has his asthma medication with him. He has his EpiPens with him. He has an antihistamine with him.
The EpiPen, could you do that?
Right. Sure.
Because I'm thinking about a lot. Is that a lot of pressure for him?
Not right now. When he's a teenager, he will be responsible for all of this when he's a teenager.
He will be, and that's the EpiPen.
This is the EpiPen.
Good. What
this
is
is
that?
just a trainer. There's no medication in this, and the instructions are on this. There are many more devices coming out right now on the market recognizing the need. This is to counteract severe anaphylaxis, which is a severe allergic reaction that, if left untreated, can lead to death.
So just so I can understand this, and I'm not trivializing, I react a certain way to bee bites, and I've had that reaction. So I have that pen.
Right.
And I
so you know how to use this.
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm. So you pull it off like this.
Right.
You hold it in your, like this, and you go like this into the leg for 10 seconds.
What does it do?
It restores your breathing, gets your blood flowing, reduces swelling. It gives you time to get to the hospital so that you can get additional treatment.
But here's what's so interesting to me is that you have become such an advocate, you know, a leader in this effort. And I'm thinking about parents who are watching right now, many of whom are so worried about their children. The numbers again, 9 million kids across this country have asthma, right? What advice would you have for some of them who feel somewhat paralyzed and haven't been so active and so involved? What advice would you have for them?
You have to open up a really good line of communication with your doctor. School nurses need information from families and from doctors that tells them when to give medication, when to treat, who to contact in case of an emergency. Without all of that important documentation, nurses and schools are kind of at a loss, and they're operating in the dark, and they don't really know what to do in case of an emergency, whether it's for asthma, whether it's for food allergy. Every child with asthma and food allergy should have an asthma action plan, a food allergy action plan that really just lists step by step, here's what you do in case of an emergency.
Did you ever think that you'd be this much of a leader, this involved, this organized?
No, no.
Out of necessity?
Out of necessity. You know, as a parent, you want your child to not only survive but also to thrive. And someday he has to manage all of this on his own and has to advocate for himself and has to speak up when it's necessary so that he can be safe. 2 out of kids basically in every classroom has a food allergy.
2 in every classroom?
2 in every classroom
has a food allergy.
Has a food allergy. Basically 1 in 13 kids. Many more have asthma. And it's not uncommon anymore. They all know each other. They are very interested in knowing how to take care of each other and remind each other, hey, do you have your medication
Be aware.
with you? Be aware.
You know, Allison, we've been putting up the website information throughout this segment. Take advantage of it, folks. Use that information. People like Allison Inserro are out there because they want to share it. They want you to be more involved. Allison Inserro with the Allergy and Asthma Support Group of Central New Jersey. You're doing important work. Thank you. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back, right after this.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship. PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities. And by the law firm of Gibbons, P.C. Promotional support provided by NJ Biz, All Business, All New Jersey. And by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.